you guys, welcome. I'm Parshvika. Today I'm going to talk about one of the most important thing about the relationships, the fear of dying alone, the fear of being alone forever or being lonely in the world, being single. Now, not everybody has this fear. Some people are way more comfortable being single, but a person like me, I had this fear for a very long time that what if I am not going to get the partner? What if that's never going to happen? I'm going to be dying alone. What if I'm never going to get married? What if I'm not going to have a family or a kids or something like that? And due to that, when I had the fear, I started chasing my partner in the relationship because I had that fear. What if that person didn't come to me? They don't contact me, they go away, and I'm not going to find anybody else, or I'm going to be dying alone or single, whatever. And this fear may seem not for everybody, but for some people it's real fear. They really feel it because they're like, I don't want to die alone. I want to be having a partner. I want to have a relationship. I want to have a marriage or whatever. So how to deal with this fear if you have it all? Because I had this fear. It depends from which culture you're coming from. It's depends from where you have been raised, what limiting beliefs and what insecurities have it. Because some people are so comfortable being alone, being single. They are so comfortable. For them, it's not an issue at all. And for some people, being single is an issue because they are like, oh, especially for the woman, oh, my age is running. Oh, if I'm not get married right now, I'm not going to be able to have kids. I am on age limit. There is an age limit to get married and have kids, especially if you're coming from an Asian background. If you're coming from Western country, then the things would be different. Personally, me coming from an Asian background, this fear was real. And this fear was not my fear. It's my parents' fear. If she didn't get married on the time, she's never going to have a family, never going to have the kids, or have the problem with the kids, or going to die alone, be single forever, what's going to do in the old age, when she's going to be alone. All that stuff was there. And somehow I picked those fears, and I was running my relationship based on the fear. And that's why I was chasing after the relationship, the people, without even realizing that I have this fear inside of me. Until few days back, I realized this fear. Now, I'm not single anymore. I've never been single, guys. I can tell you that personally, even when I have this fear of dying alone or being single or whatever, personally, I've never been in a situation in my life that a man was never chasing after me. Never been a situation in my life. Never. Like even when I was in the school, when I was in the high school, when I was 16, 17 years of age as a teenager, my friends' boyfriends were after me. Even though I was not dating anybody, but the men were chasing after me. Even when I was in the college and I was dating somebody, other people were chasing after me even when I'm in the relationship. So there never been a time for me that I never have somebody. Like, oh, there is always somebody for me, whether I'm in a relationship or I'm not in a relationship. Because men are always chasing after me. I don't know why. Like, yes, that's a thing for me. And I know this is a thing for a lot of the women. Like, you never be in a situation in your life that a man is not chasing after you. So for me, it's so easy to attract a relationship. It's so easy to find a partner because there never been a situation in my life when I never have men chasing after me. Whether I'm single, whether I'm not single, or I'm in a relationship, whatever, people don't care. They start chasing after me. So this fear of being alone or dying alone or single was not even my fear because the opposite is true for happening for me. So how did I deal with the fear even though the opposite was true? I realized that this fear was not of being dying alone, the fear of being like having a family or kids. If I'm not doing on the right age, then when I'm gonna get old, my kids would be very small and I'm gonna get old, or maybe I would die and there would be nobody supporting my kids because I die. That's the belief I have because of my parents. That's the belief I had, not have. So I really go deep into that, and I was like, okay, if I'm not get married, if I don't have kids, what's I'm gonna do with my life? Well, I have so much time. I can adopt the kids. If I cannot have my own kids, I can adopt the kids. I can have pets. I love animals. I can travel the world. I can have entire plants. I love plants. So I can have a farmer garden and I can grow plants, grow my own crops, and that could be my babies. Why not? So there are so many different options that I could be doing if I don't have a family or if I don't have the kids. And I put those things and put those things in front of the fear and give the proof that if I don't have this thing, then I have this thing around. And then I realized that, you know what? Everybody will going to die one day, and we all die alone. Whether you were married before you die or you were single before you die, everybody die, and everybody die alone. So it doesn't really matter. Only in this physical world we think that we cannot be alone, but that's in actuality not a fear at all. So the another thing was that I realized that I always have the people chasing after me. So even if I get out of one relationship, the next person is there chasing after me. So it's harder for me to be single. Honestly speaking, it's very harder for me to be single because so many people chasing after me. Like, okay, we want a relationship with you. We want to marry you. And I was like, no, I already have a partner. So I got to say no to the people. That's been a situation for me because I already have a partner. So this fear is not even real at all because opposite is showcasing in the 3D. Because like personally from my experience, I always have the people chasing after me. Always. It's just that I am not into those people, so I say no to them. Simple, because I can only be with one person at a time, if that make any sense. But when you see the fear and you actually sit with the fear, sit with the feeling of uncomfortability of the fear and actually look into the fear and what is it telling you, and then you realize that, okay, if this is, what would be the worst case scenario that could happen? If I'm not married, not have kids, not have a partner, what would be the worst case scenario? Well, I would have a lot of the time on my plate, so I could learn some new things, try new hobbies, go social, make new friends, go on a dating, so many dating websites out there, or go date people, whatever, or literally travel the world, have my own pets, adopt kids, have my own nursery, like literally so many things that I could do if the worst case scenario happened and if I don't have a family or a kid. So many things that I could do, and my life will be filled of happiness whether I have the family or not. It doesn't really matter because everybody will going to die one day and everybody will going to die alone regardless of the relationship status. So I don't even care at all. So that's how I deal with the fear. I sit with the fear, being uncomfortable, feeling not good, and then go deep dive into the fear and see what would be the worst case scenario if this fear was real. And if I am comfortable with the worst case scenario, then the fear is gone. Because the moment you're comfortable with the worst case scenario, guess what? The worst case scenario is never going to happen. In fact, the fear will go away and there's going to be a big relief, a lot of the weight taken off from the shoulder, and you're literally going to feel that. So let me know if this piece of content resonates with you. Thank you so much for tuning in this video, guys. Give this video a big thumbs up, consider subscribing, and don't forget I have 2 courses, Feminine Energy, Masculine Energy course. The second course is Manifesting Attracting Relationship That You Truly Deserve Desire. The links are in description. Thank you so much for tuning in this video. See you the next time. Bye-bye.